Following program is a production of Hō'ike Kaua'i Community Media. Aloha, Kaua'i. Today is a pretty big day for Hō'ike because today, November 15th, is the day the Department of Commerce and Consumer Affairs, or DCCA, is set to finalize a decision that will impact public broadcasting on Kaua'i and Hō'ike specifically for the next 10 to 15 years. Now, if you're watching this on Channel 54 and have Spectrum as a cable provider, you're not getting the HD signal that we put out. Why? Well, because Spectrum doesn't want to. They actually down-convert our signal before they send it to you. All the other channels on Spectrum, however, are broadcast in HD. Not only does this not make sense at all, this inequity also deprives our community of the quality programming we deserve and have long advocated for. Oh, and I forgot to mention, Spectrum charges customers higher fees for HD. So why aren't all the channels HD? And why aren't you getting what you paid for? Seems wrong to us. So wrong, in fact, that our CEO, Allegra Gaines, penned an op-ed recently that made its way to the Star Advertiser on Sunday, November 10th. If you missed it, you can go to our tiny URL link and read it, or scan the QR code on your screen, which thankfully will still work even if you're forced to watch this in subpar SD. There is good news, however. Hawaiian Telcom is meeting their customers' needs. They broadcast all their channels in HD, and that includes Hō'ike. So if that's your cable service provider, then prepare to enjoy the crystal clear HD version of this week's show. Let's get to it. I'm Tricia Allen, and this is the Hō'ike Weekly. Let's be honest, you're mostly interested in all the fun events on the way coming up in the next week. So let's just get to all of Kaua'i's upcoming events. The Hawaii Children's Theater has been rehearsing their butts off, and now it's time for opening night. The SpongeBob musical begins Sunday, November 17th. This opening performance will also benefit the Kaua'i Independent Food Bank, so attendees can bring in canned goods for donation. After that, the SpongeBob musical will run every weekend until November 30th, with 2 shows on Saturdays. To get more info, visit hctkaua'i.org. The Live Poets Society will be celebrating their first publication on Monday, November 18th at the Lihue Public Library on Hardy Street. Kaua'i and Haiku, which took a year to plan, write, edit, and design, is an anthology that pays tribute to Kaua'i. The event starts at 5:30 p.m. and attendees will be able to meet the LPS poets who wrote the book, as well as participate in Haiku High Tea, which includes Hawaii-style refreshments and a book signing. All the details for this event can be found by scanning the QR code on our screen or visit the tiny URL link in our show notes. Master Builders of Kaua'i, listen up. The Lihue LEGO Club is hosting an event from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. on Wednesday, November 20th at the Lihue Public Library. LEGO builders aged 8 to 12 in attendance will get to participate in a building challenge that utilizes science and engineering skills to make a creation that can survive a drop test. Scan the QR code or visit the tiny URL link to get specifics. Now, just because the election is over doesn't mean there isn't more to learn about regarding the legislative process. And to prove it, the Kaua'i Committee on the Status of Women will be holding a virtual workshop on Wednesday, November 20th, from 3:30 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. at the Lihue Civic Center. In this workshop, attendees will learn about effective ways to participate in Hawaii's legislative process. Women expecting to attend the workshop should RSVP to the event because although it's a virtual event, space is limited. Email boards and commissions at kaua'i.gov to RSVP as well as get additional information if you need it. The County of Kaua'i Housing Agency is also holding a community workshop. This one, though, is for the Waimea 400 Affordable Housing Master Plan Project, and it'll be held on Thursday, November 21st from 5:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. at the Waimea Canyon Middle School cafeteria. The purpose of the workshop is to provide an update on what the county's been working on for the entire Waimea 400 site, as well as gather input and feedback from the community. Now, if you have no clue what the 2022 Waimea 400 Master Plan is, you can brush up on the details by visiting waimea400housing.com. Hō'ike's very own Olivia Franco will be there to broadcast this meeting live on Channel 54 as well. But anyone planning to attend the event should RSVP with your name and the number of people attending. To get to the RSVP page, you can scan the QR code on your screen or visit our tiny URL link. Now, live music always sounds better, and on November 22nd, 23rd, and 24th, it's going to sound amazing coming from the Porter Pavilion at Anainahou Community Park. That's because Grateful Dead drummer Bill Kreutzmann will be there performing an all-ages show with Mahalo Dead. Yep, for those 3 days in a row, family and friends can enjoy these amazingly talented musicians as they perform timeless classics and have some fun improvisational jams. It is a Dead show, after all. Visit anainahou.org to get more info. A full participation showing of the Rocky Horror Picture Show is happening on Friday, November 22nd in the KCC Performing Arts Center. The event's being held to benefit the Prism Club at KCC, and crowd participation is highly encouraged. So don't be surprised if you see people dressed up in costumes. It's all part of the experience. Doors open at 6:30 p.m. and the film begins at 7. Now, normally, the Kaua'i Humane Society requires reservations to take a shelter dog on a field trip, but not on November 23rd. They're throwing those rules out the window. Families who live on Kaua'i and those who are vacationing here can both take a lovable shelter dog out on a field trip. All they have to do is arrive at the shelter between 10 a.m. and 12 p.m. KHS will then provide a backpack full of doggy supplies, tips on some pet-friendly spots, and for the first 5 families who show up, a KHS swag bag to keep. Families will have until 5 p.m. to drop off their new furry friends. More info can be found at kauaihumane.org. It's going to be a slack key guitar weekend on the 23rd and 24th because on Saturday, November 23rd, the Mokihana Club's Nursing Scholarship Benefit Concert is taking place at the KCC Performing Arts Center. Performances by Keola Beamer, Jeff Peterson, and Moanalani Beamer will have the audience captivated from the start, which is at 7 p.m. More details are at themokihanaclub.org. Then, on Sunday, November 24th, the Outrigger Kaua'i Beach Resort and Spa will host the 32nd annual Slack Key Guitar Festival. From 1 p.m. to 5 p.m., attendees will get to feast their ears on some of the finest artists in the slack key guitar genre, including Kaua'i's very own Paul Togioka, Cindy Combs, and Michael Kiale. Special info regarding this event can be found by scanning the QR code on your screen or by visiting the tiny URL link in our show notes. All right, Kaua'i, it's newsflash time. Our island may be small, but there's a lot happening around here and you have things to do. So let's get to it so that you can go about your week informed. A new peace pole was installed in Kaua'i near the elementary school, and if you drive around the new peanut there, you can see it. Okay, I see you scratching your head like, what's a peace pole? Don't worry, you're not alone. I had to meet with Terry Mansfield to find that out for myself. It seems like peace poles are actually kind of a thing, and not just in distant parts of the world either. There's quite a few right here on Kaua'i. Check it out. On November 8th, a blessing for the newest peace pole on Kaua'i took place near the Peanut in Kaua'i. Terry Mansfield, who's an advocate for peace, worked with Councilmember Bernard Carvalho to get it done. At this point, you may be wondering, what is a peace pole? Peace poles are monuments that promote global harmony and peace. They're usually wooden or metal poles inscribed with the message, "May peace prevail on earth." The language inscriptions are often chosen to represent the local community or significant languages of the area, making each pole unique and locally meaningful.
So we had to get permission from the mayor and the county council, and they gave us a nice certificate in recognition of the peace pole.
The newest peace pole is aluminum with a removable cap. Peace messages from all the Kaua'i schools were placed inside the pole, along with preschool students from the Kamehameha Charter School, who all chose to draw their peace messages. In addition to the messages put inside, there are 13 peace messages inscribed on the side of the pole, all in different languages from all over the world. There are hundreds of thousands of poles all over the globe and more than a dozen on Kaua'i alone. Have you seen any of these peace poles?
Starting in Kilauea up north, there are 3 peace poles. There's one at the where they do the farmers market on Saturday. There's one at the dog park in Kilauea, and there's another one at Stone Dam, where beautiful hike. If you ever get to do it, do it. Then come down to Kaua'i. There's one at St. Catherine Church across the street. There's one in my home. There's one by Bullshed Restaurant, and there's one by UCC Church in Kaua'i. Then going south in Lihue, there are 2 that we know of. One in the Peace Park next to the old movie theater, and one at KCC. And all of the 10 University of Hawaii colleges have a peace pole, and KCC has one. Then go a little bit south, Hanapepe has 2 peace poles. One at it's a Hawaiian church across the street from Storybook. Okay. And Storybook has one handmade by the Hindu monks in the back. So those are the ones that I know of. There may be more, but I don't know of them yet.
And you know what? We actually did find one she didn't know about. Mariel Gray from Grateful Works told me about an additional peace pole located next to Ho'ola Lihue, Hawaii, just off of Rice Street in Lihue. So we were able to find an extra one we weren't expecting.
I just think that this is a great human interest story, especially at this time when the country is so polarized. And, we just want everyone to just calm down and just think about, what have we all gone through? What are we learning as humans? As a species, what are we learning?
Kaua'i's Office of Economic Development is now accepting proposals for the 2025 Agriculture Farm Expansion Grants Program, supporting local farms and ranches with up to $100,000 in grants. In its second year, this program provides $400,000 in total funding for Kaua'i's agriculture sector. The goal? To strengthen Kaua'i's food system, boost local job creation, and support eco-friendly practices. So, how might eligible nonprofits make use of this grant? Well, here's an example. A small farm that sells fruits and vegetables at farmers markets could apply for funding to grow its operations, allowing it to offer even more fresh produce to the local community. Local beekeepers could apply too, using the funds to add more hives to increase honey production and support local pollination. Fish farmers, meanwhile, might seek support to expand their facilities or adopt sustainable practices, which would ultimately bring more fresh seafood to Kaua'i's residents. The community benefits from this too, actually, because increasing local food production helps ensure that Kaua'i is less dependent on imported goods, and that strengthens food security on the island. Applications are due January 2nd, 2025, with funding applied from March 2025 through September 2026. Any interested nonprofits should visit the Amplifund Grant Portal system, which is easy to get to actually. Just scan the QR code on your screen or click the tiny URL link in our show notes if you're listening on the podcast studio. Residents of Kaua'i should be careful with the information that they volunteer over the phone because there's a new scam in town. Fraudsters are calling people claiming to be law enforcement officials, telling the victim on the phone that they have an arrest warrant due to missed jury duty or unpaid fines. They're then pressuring the victim to pay a hefty fine via PayPal. How can you avoid being scammed? Well, remember these two things. One, KPD will never request payments via PayPal for fines. Two, all official communication is sent by mail, not over the phone. Residents are urged to report any suspicious calls or messages they get like these to KPD Dispatch at 808-241-1711. Speaking of KPD, Chief Todd Raybuck has decided to retire. According to Hawaii Now News, in 2025, he'll end his service and he'll prioritize time with his family, as well as his health and wellness. Good thing Max got him to do the first episode of Island Alert before it was too late, huh? We wish him all the best, though, in whatever he does next. Mahalo, Chief. All right, Kaua'i, that's all the Hō'ike we have for you this week. We'll be sure to keep you updated on the DCCA decision regarding whether Spectrum will be allowed to continue giving subpar service to its customers by downgrading Hō'ike's signal to SD, which, by the way, is the only channel where you can watch county council meetings and community events. Don't forget to check out our CEO's op-ed about the situation by visiting the tiny URL link in our show notes or scanning the QR code on your screen. Until next week, I'm Tricia Allen, wishing you love and aloha. Thank you for watching. Read the op-ed. It's really good.